What's up, everybody? My name's Tyler. This is Sean. We're Rendered Reality. Glad you guys are joining us. If you haven't already, definitely subscribe. Speaking of subscribing, thank you to everybody. We just hit what 2,000. We actually were at 2.1 already, so that happened
Yeah,
fast.
we hit our
Um,
goal, our 2019 year-end goal of the 2K subs. Thanks to everybody that's watching this and helped spread it around, and
I agree.
definitely thankful for all of the viewers. So
Which again, we said we jokingly thought that might happen, but we never actually did think that. I mean, that was
yeah,
that was 6 months ago. We're like, wouldn't that be cool? And it's like, yeah,
right,
it actually did happen. So we really do appreciate that.
yeah, pretty awesome.
But yeah, so VR stuff, man. Let's get in. First off, coffee. I actually I'm off Pete's. I'm on 8 o'clock now.
Yep.
I'm down to bottom of the barrel, to me. But
I'm
yeah,
drinking
finally got
some.
into a cup.
It's called Dark Matter from a local coffee shop called Roastology, which I'm
Oh,
still
nice, you're
hoping
still
to
on that.
do a 180 VR video there of them brewing some coffee and doing their thing. It's all made in house, so it's pretty cool. But that is what I am drinking today. I think I drank the last of the Pete's Holiday Blend. That may
Yeah,
have
me too.
caused me some heart
Yep.
murmurs over the holiday
Yep.
season because I drank
I
so much
agree.
of it and it's pretty high octane. So I was
I
drinking
know.
so much
I
coffee over the
know.
holiday season. But so really 2019 was an excellent year for VR. Absolutely
Oh yeah.
phenomenal. And 2020 so far is looking pretty good. We got CES coming next week. And that
Super
is,
hyped.
yeah, we're going to
Oh,
get into a little bit of CES stuff today, a little bit of stuff that's been leaked out ahead of time and things to talk about with CES. So I think next
yep.
week is going to be a pretty big week for VR. I think we're going to see a lot of big news story. It slowed down a little bit through, these last 2 weeks because of New Year's and Christmas and all the holidays and stuff. So, but there's still
Yep.
a lot of really cool stuff to get into today. And we got
Oh
a
yeah.
couple game codes to give away. There was one early in chat, so make sure you pay attention
Yeah, I
to
didn't
what's going
see who
on.
caught that. I don't. Yeah,
I'm not sure
I know we
either.
posted one early in chat today, just for all the people. I think there was already 20 people or something in there before the show, before it even got pushed out. So somebody got it, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
pretty cool. Pretty awesome. So let's start off with some big news for us. We partnered up with a pretty big company to really work on a advertising campaign for our
Oh yeah.
coffee mugs. I mean, this is huge for us. We spent a ton of money working with somebody, and this company is HTC. You guys might have heard of them. We know their marketing is really good, and they really go all out on their marketing. So we teamed up with them. This is the debut of our marketing campaign with HTC for our coffee mugs. So we're going to go ahead and play it on the TV above.
Yeah, and this should gain us a lot of traction too. Duh.
Obviously, just a joke. But
I mean, it worked really well for HTC. I
yeah, and the
mean, come on.
Cosmos. I mean, this was the reason the Cosmos has been so successful. So we just thought, this was, perfect advertising campaign for our coffee mugs.
Oh
Really
my
push
God.
it out there. Really go mainstream with it. So, but honestly, this was FlukeRogi's idea.
Oh my
He
God.
actually made this image and everything for us, and he came up with the idea. We thought it was hilarious. So, Tony Digital, thank you so much for that $10. That'll
Cheers,
help pay
Tony.
for this
Man, that's
HTC
awesome. Again.
advertising campaign. So,
Man, I know.
that is so awesome. Thank
Oh
you
my
so
gosh.
much. But
Yeah,
yeah,
thank
this is
you.
all thanks to
Oh.
FlukeRogi. This was a genius idea that he had. We absolutely love this idea of kind of a knockoff, a little bit of a knock to HTC in their advertising, but just out of
Right.
all good fun, all good fun.
Yeah, I know.
So,
I mean, it didn't do that well for him, I guess. I
no,
remember when this video actually first dropped for it, and it was like, really? Like that was
yeah,
their drop
that
video?
was like their
just it
debut of
rotating
the
on the head?
Cosmos. Yeah, that was their huge debut.
Yeah.
So our coffee mug sales might start to plummet after this video, but that's okay.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing.
Oh, so cool.
Oh yeah, Tony, I was just looking. Coffee fun. Thank you, man. That's awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that
was
is
trying.
awesome.
I was trying to get a video out of me making coffee this morning and stuff. Maybe I'll have to push it onto next week's episode or something. But the file was too big and stuff. Is now phones take way too good a video, and I couldn't compress it in time. So, anyways, I'll get it out there. But yep, I was down to the bottom, so I do need to actually get some. But thank you, we really do appreciate that. Speaking of funding, we were actually just talking about where are we going this year, right?
Right.
For expos.
We're not
And
going to make it to
man,
CES, unfortunately, this year. Won't be CES. I think
we're not.
we're gonna be at CES next year, though. We're gonna make sure we get to CES
Yeah,
2021 this
absolutely.
year, and maybe a little bit of help from you guys too in the Discord and on chat and stuff. What you guys think we should try to go to? Right now, we're kind of considering. We've talked about PAX East. We've talked about
Yep.
GDC. We've talked about E3. Maybe I don't know about F8. Definitely try to get to OC7. I mean, there's so many of them, and they're, you know, we're East Coast, so a lot of these are not very close to us. Really, the only one that's probably the closest would be PAX East in Boston, and most of the rest of them are on the West Coast, so it's a little bit of a traveling adventure for us, but.
Which I'm pretty sure I'm all in for PAX East. I mean, I was all in for CES too, so we're not gonna get into that. I'm still ready to book a ticket right now.
If we could get tickets right now, we might. I don't know. I don't know if we could still get them, but yeah, PAX East is definitely a possibility. We'll have to get the 4-day passes because I think was it Friday and Saturday? Just those tickets are sold out, so we'll have to.
They are.
We'll have to get that figured out here pretty. Oh, thank you. Oculus Quest fun. That is awesome. Thank you so much.
Top off. Appreciate it, man.
A top off.
That's awesome.
So cool. Yeah, really
Very much appreciate. I can't take the music though.
I know the music is awesome. It is really awesome.
Ridiculous.
So, but let us know what you guys think of what we should maybe try to get to this year, because it is, you know, we got to figure that out here pretty soon. The earlier the better for buying tickets and figuring all that out. So we do really got to figure that out.
Hotels stuff, meetups, stuff like that. But
we're gonna
I can't take.
We're gonna go ahead and add this to our coffee bar.
The head. I really can't. It's ridiculous.
I absolutely love it, actually. It's my new favorite thing. We're going to go ahead and add it to the coffee bar there. But
I know. We need to get into some stuff here. Yeah. PD was just saying we got invited to his birthday bash night out, which I would be all in. You find me a ticket for that, I'm all in.
Yeah,
I mean, I know he goes some places that I would definitely go. So.
That's a little bit farther than the West
Coast.
But yeah, happy birthday.
It is.
That is awesome.
It is.
I wonder when that is.
So anyways, you've been playing some football lately, right?
Yeah, a little bit. We checked out the 2MD football on the Oculus Quest, and that is coming on January 9th, and that's going to be $14.99, and it is going to have cross-buy with the new updated version on the Rift. So pretty cool game, and honestly, I never played this before. This was never a game that I picked up. The original version was out on Steam and PSVR and stuff like that. And the big takeaway that I've gotten from people is the PSVR people are really excited for this because they're able to play this now with actual thumbsticks.
True.
You know, before.
And there's not a lot of sports games either. For PSVR. I mean, there's not a huge range of them. You know, like you have had with other consoles.
I mean, even in general in VR, there's not a lot of real sports games. So it'll be kind of exciting to have an actual sports game coming to the Quest. I mean, we do have Sports Scramble, which is kind of a mix of all kinds of things. And all of these right now kind of have that Wii Sports kind of a feeling
sure they do. Well,
to them. But I mean, that's popular. People love that. So.
But they're running on, if they're wanting to play on Quest, they're on a mobile processor. So you can't have, you know, high-end graphics on it. So you have to kind of embrace the fact that you're going to have those kinds of graphics.
Right.
But it does, I mean, it looks like it plays really well. I myself haven't been in it yet, but it does look really
Yeah, it's fun. And I mean, it's really, it's one of those games that you can pick up and it's real easy to play. So it's something that you can show somebody new to VR real easy. I mean, for the most part, all you really have to do is snap the ball and throw it, you know, or hand it off.
Not controls or anything crazy.
Well, I mean, you can run it. You can use the sticks to run the ball, physically run the ball yourself, but you don't have to. So if it's somebody new to VR, you know, you don't want to worry about motion sickness and all that, you know, just have them throw the ball. And it is a lot of fun. And it's I mean, it really is easy to pick up, but it's hard to master. Like, it's hard to get, you know, it takes practice to get them throws down accurately where you want the ball to go, you know, and learning the plays and everything else. I mean, it was funny because at the very end of the video, I was like wrapping up the video or whatever I was recording on the Quest, and I just happened to look at the leaderboard, and I was like, wait a minute, I just saw Eric for President's name on there, and Anthony from VR Game Rankings, VR 365, and I think Eric for President was number 4. And obviously this game isn't out yet on the Quest, so there's only limited. So I was like, man, I'm going to have to practice some more of this to get up on that leaderboard. But I'm sure once it's actually out on the 9th, I'll never be able to see the leaderboard again. So
no. But that's how it goes. I remember that pistol whip. I was like number 5 or something, you know, before it was out. And then after it's like, and
then it comes out and it's like, you never see the game again. It's crazy.
I know, get stomped.
But yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, like I said, a lot of PSVR people are excited. And if you look at the reviews on Steam from the original version, the Steam reviews are really, really good on the game. I mean, they're really a lot of good reviews. So, I mean, this is a game that a lot of people really like, and I think a lot of people are going to enjoy. And
colors pop. Visually, it looks cool.
Yeah, the stadiums are really cool. That's one of the things I liked. Like in this stadium here, it was called the Princess. The other team was called Princesses or something like that. So the stadiums changed with the team that you're playing, which is pretty cool. And yeah, so I mean, people are excited, and I think it's really cool. Some people mentioned, you know, this, like, why are people excited about this? It looks so basic, and I told them, you know, this is one of those things with VR. Like, it's hard to judge a game by a video or a screenshot. You really got to get in and try it, and that's, you know, where people.
It's so hard to show people that, and they don't realize it, you know, until you get in there and see it. And we say this, you know, with new adopters or people who are looking to, you know, get into VR, just try it. Like, the dumbest thing. I mean, super hot. Come on, it's what, 3 colors? Black,
Yeah.
white, and red.
Yeah,
I
on
mean,
the screen it doesn't look like much.
right,
It's that game
exactly.
that once you get in there, and that's when the magic really happens. And they did tell me too. The developer said that these bonus rounds. So after you win a match from a team, you go into this bonus round, and this is where you get your points. So that's where you're going to get up on them leaderboards, is getting a really high score from the bonus round. So it's pretty cool. I think
It is.
I think it is going to be a single player game, which, you know, for me, I'm always all about the multiplayer and the co-op stuff in VR. So I think, you know, if we could ever get this game of a possibility of a 1 versus 1 multiplayer kind of thing, you go back and forth or something, even if there was no defense, because there is no defense in the game, it's only offense. So even if you didn't have the defense aspect, if you just went back and forth with another person of offense, I don't know how it'd be kind of weird without the defense, but
it'd be nice to be 1v1. That would be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That'd be a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, but the challenge is the leaderboards. That's what, you know, people are going to want to go after, is them leaderboards, get your name up on there. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's cool. It's pretty exciting stuff. So, I mean, anytime we get another game coming to Quest and stuff is a good thing.
See, I'm kind of only down to the Quest right now at the moment. It's basically all I'm stuck with if I want to use any types of controllers, because that literally is the only controller set I have at the moment. So I have to play through Link or directly on Quest. So yeah, stuff like this now I'm getting back into because, you know, I'm down my index and stuff. Which actually they just received my controllers yesterday.
Nice.
So I haven't got any word on them yet. So still hoping.
They probably opened that box and said, "What the heck happened to this thing?"
It may have been in pieces by the time it got there. I know. I tried to like get it back together real tight, so it was like looked pretty and stuff. But they thought it happened in shipping. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, who knows?
You never know. I know.
Yeah, we will see what happens. Hopefully
I know
they can get it taken care of. And you did get your official Link cable, right?
I did, yeah. I actually have it right here. I just got it as well, which took a little bit. You know, I got delayed on the shipping end of it, which I still can't believe how it got delayed that far. You know, you and I ordered almost simultaneously.
Yeah.
And I got delayed, what has it been now? Weeks?
Yeah, I only got delayed a couple days, but
I know.
It was kind of weird. But, I mean, luckily it is here. I've been doing some testing with it, and I also have some other cables, and I got an adapter. I got a USB-C to USB-A adapter because a lot of people have been asking about that. Like, I don't have a USB-C port on my computer, so I wanted to make sure I got an adapter and verify that it worked good and everything for me. And another problem with this is that everybody's computer is so different. So everybody, like one person has good results with this cable, another person it doesn't work at all for. So that's, you know, it's kind of a little hard, but we are planning a part 2, maybe a part 3 for the Oculus Link, the official Link cable, and the Go Quest VR cable should be on its way. That's the $28 5-meter cable, so we're going to be doing some testing.
And now I can finally get my hands on it to see what I think too, compared to the extensions I have and stuff like that.
Yep.
I actually found though that I have 2 USB-C ports actually on my computer.
You got a GPU one and then a computer
and I have a motherboard one. So the actual GPU one works better. The one extension set I have with the not official, but the recommended Oculus cable that they originally recommended, and which was an Anchor, I think. And then I had an extension that would work. It did not work on the motherboard one. It would say it was active, connected, and then I would go to use it, and it would drop the connection. Yeah. Just by me swapping it over to the motherboard one, it works seamlessly.
You mean the GPU one?
The GPU. Yeah. So that tells me that the GPU one is way more streamlined, which obviously it would be. But it does make a difference.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I think it's still hit or miss, because that's what, when I first was using the Link cable, that's what I had it plugged into the GPU, the USB-C port, and I had a really good experience. I think it was yesterday or the day before, I went to hop back into it with the official Link cable, and it kept saying PC not recognized. So I unplugged it from the GPU and plugged it into the regular USB-C port, and then it came up. So I don't know. It's still weird, and it is still in beta. So I mean, it's still not it does have kinks. It's got a lot of kinks, and another big issue right now is the no mic. There's the mic is disabled, and we might have a workaround. We've been working on a little bit of something, and we got to do some more testing with it to see if it does work, and it'll fix that for now until it's back and up and running officially through Oculus. So stay tuned if we can figure that out.
I've been testing a lot of things. I still have some sitting in front of me. I've been testing even some wireless headphones with the Quest. The only problem is right now there's too much latency there that it doesn't work. You know, I went to the rhythm games and stuff for my hardcore testing, you know, because you got to be on point, you know, with rhythm and stuff, and it just wasn't there. So the latency that's there with the Bluetooth stuff,
And some of
just
it's
doesn't
better
work.
than others too. It seems like some Bluetooth headphones and stuff work
Yep.
good, because I know some people have had.
Some are close,
Yeah, but the ones you were trying to do was something a little bit different. So
yeah, and it's still that latency with the rhythm games just doesn't, if you were doing something casual on there, sure, it's
yeah,
probably not going to be an issue. But when you need to be on point, just it's not there. You need to stay
yeah,
wired, at least in my opinion.
for
Unless
sure.
somebody's found something. If you found one that works, drop it in the comments because I would really like to know.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm looking for
I'm
something.
still using the deluxe audio strap, so I'm pretty set in the audio department for right now on the Quest. But
Yep.
yeah, so and another thing you mentioned a little bit ago was the basics of the games in VR, but they're still amazing games like Super Hot.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, Super Hot,
Oh,
over the
yeah.
holiday, I think it was a 1 week through the holiday, sold
Yeah.
$2 million
Isn't that
worth
crazy?
of. Yeah, they grossed $2 million from Super Hot alone in 1 week this holiday season, is what the storyline tells, and that's pretty
amazing.
impressive. Yeah,
That is.
that is
That's
impressive.
unbelievable. It's exciting, and I get it because that's going to be some of the first go-to games for people.
Yeah.
Beat Saber, Super Hot. Those would be the first two I would tell somebody as an early new adopter. That's
Yeah,
what
Super
you should
Hot
buy.
is almost. I mean, for somebody new into VR, getting a Quest, Super Hot is almost.
So good.
Yeah, it's one of the must-have
It's a
games
must, man.
almost.
It is.
And just to compare this a little bit, so Job Simulator came out in 2016, passed the $3 million mark after around 8 months of launching on Steam. So that was 8 months when Super Hot did this, and now current VR times in a week of $2 million. It's I mean, it's pretty. It shows you the hotness of the VR market in the holiday season this year for sure.
It is.
I mean, it was the hot item. I mean, and it probably would have even been bigger numbers if these headsets were more available. If you could buy them
I
more
don't know
readily.
though. I don't know though. I don't know if I buy that. A lot of people have been saying that too, but honestly, it's the I can't have it that draws the demand as well.
Yeah.
Nintendo is notorious for doing this over, decades at this point, over years of drawing back inventory just to build the hype for it. And it works. I mean, they do
does.
it
I mean, it
all
does
across
build
the
hype,
board
yeah.
with things. So it's not always a bad thing,
Yeah,
at least for
yeah.
us in the industry, it might be great. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. It sucks for me not being able to get controllers, but
Yeah, for sure.
those are still going for ridiculous amounts
Yeah,
on eBay.
I actually
And
heard
still, I can't believe it.
supposedly Pimax pretty much bought up all of the index controllers. They have a
Sure.
huge inventory right now of index
Right.
controllers so that they can ship them out. So that might be part of the problem too of why the controllers are so
Sure.
backlogged. But I don't think you can order just the controllers from
Not
Pimax
through,
yet.
not through Pimax.
Yeah,
Nope.
so that kind of stinks. But
Nope. You can't.
Yeah.
I know. There is something I want to order from
Yeah.
Pimax.
yeah, a couple things. So
Yeah.
let's get into a little bit of the CES stuff, and you have a guess of what's going to be the next big thing that we're going to keep seeing.
Yeah. And if you looked at the thumbnail, you saw where I'm probably going to go with this is I think we're going to have a ton of haptic feedback gloves. I really do.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be the big ticket item for VR at CES. I just think there's going to be some even come out that we haven't even heard of yet that are going to drop at CES. It's there. We're really close with it. What I'm curious to see is who's going to come up with the most cost-effective set.
Yeah, the most cost-effective,
yeah,
easiest to
because right
put
now-
on, easiest of use. I mean, that's going to be the big thing for the
It is.
haptic gloves. I think it's cool, but this isn't something that I'm like, man, I can't wait to buy some haptic gloves. You know what I mean? It's cool for certain aspects of VR, but this isn't something that I want to stick on every single time I want to play. I mean,
But- But maybe it is. We don't really know.
Maybe,
I mean, we
maybe.
haven't tried. I thought that about the hand tracking and stuff, but I like it. But my only gripe about it is you can't actually grab something. Like if I'm playing a shooter, I want to grab a gun stock.
Right.
Well, with these, you would be grabbing a gun stock. You just don't know it's not there because your hands are going to stop on that. Given you have to have the
Depending on the
implementation, I'm
glove,
sure, through the
yeah.
game and the glove and all of that.
yeah.
But I mean, it's possible. So you would still feel like you have something. And that was my one gripe with the hand tracking stuff. So
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know if all I have to do is slip it on and maybe put a controller in like these, which are the Bebops.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And these are one of
I don't know.
These are one of like at least 3 that we know we're going to be
Correct.
seeing at CES this year. So this is the Bebop gloves. There's also the Teslasuit gloves, the Dexmo gloves, and
Yep.
probably more, like you said. So the Bebop gloves, they're saying that they're going to be compatibility with Oculus Quest, Oculus Link,
Yep.
Oculus Rift
Yep.
S, Windows Mixed Reality, HTC Vive Cosmos, Vive Pro, HTC Focus Plus, and the Varjo headsets. So pretty wide
That's
range.
pretty serious, yeah.
pretty wide.
So
wide
are they
range.
going to have, I mean, I don't think I've seen it stated, but are they just going to have native Steam adaptation to where they work, in Steam VR?
I would imagine.
I would hope so. I would think so.
Yeah.
And here, because they have the controller strapped to it on some of these newer pictures from Bebop, maybe it's way simpler than we thought. That's how they're tracking it then, instead of having to put a Vive tracker on them and stuff like we've seen in the past. I think this is a really great setup because there's no additional hardware you would have to buy for them.
Yeah.
And it would keep the cost down, no
I don't know
tracking
what the
built
cost
into
is gonna
it.
be. Yeah. So this says it comes. So these ones here, they come with 6 haptic actuators located on 4 fingertips, the thumb and the palm. This helps users feel actions from hitting buttons, turning knobs, opening doors. Simple things like texture feedback. Up to 16 unique haptic sound files can be resident on the glove, with new files uploaded over Bluetooth or USB when available. So supposedly these are available to purchase now.
I know. I'm excited about these ones, actually. These are the ones I think could be a game changer for us. When we look at the other ones, like the Teslasuit Gloves, those have to be extremely expensive. I don't think I've seen numbers on those, but I mean, I can only imagine what those would cost. But on top of it, they're too bulky for me.
Yeah. But these are going to give you the difference is that these are going to give you that tactile feedback of holding something. It's going to make where the Bebop gloves, I don't think do that. They're, haptic feedback and stuff like that. But
I don't know. I know. The only other way I thought that it could be possible on the Bebops is if they would just have a single cable that ran through that top strap along your finger that would just stop and limit you, just a little tiny cable going back into the hand that could limit you. I don't know every detail about these, nor are we going to probably till CES drops and we get some people trying them. But I don't know.
Yeah.
It's interesting to me. It really is.
I'm not as sold on these haptic devices, but I think obviously there is a push for them from these companies, because we're seeing 3 of them right now that are going to be at CES. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, only so many of these things are going to survive, because the market isn't big enough to have multiple companies making gloves that everybody's buying. But it'll be
but my thing is, are we going to see one from Oculus? Do you think anything is going to get dropped about them at CES? We know they've been working on them for years. I mean, we saw.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
we saw 2 years ago them demoing them and stuff. So
I don't know. I think their focus is the hand tracking, though. I think their focus, like from what I remember, you seen Mark Zuckerberg with the white glove on,
that's what I'm saying,
in front of the cameras, and I think that was just hand tracking stuff. So I think that's their big focus. Oculus doesn't really seem that interested in peripherals. You know what I mean? They don't seem that interested in the accessories for VR.
The Lux Audio strap.
Yeah.
Where the heck is it?
Yeah, that's what I mean. They're focused on the headsets, and they're focused on the software. Mainly the software, really. Mainly their store, mainly pushing, the limits of what they can do with Quest.
I understand.
Yeah, I do too. It makes sense. So I don't know. I don't think the market's big enough and there's enough people for an item like this that are going to spend the money for Oculus to really make an official thing until we get farther down the road where maybe, I don't know. I'm skeptical. I am very skeptical of these things. I think it'll be great for location-based stuff. I think that kind of stuff will be cool. Arcades, I think that'll be cool. But the home base, I don't know. I'm not as sold. I'd be glad to be proven wrong. I think it'd be cool to try. I would love to try them. I wouldn't mind having them, but I just don't know that it's something I would wear all the time. And the other ones we talked about is the Dexmo gloves. So these are the other ones. These are kind of similar to the Tesla gloves from what I can tell. They have the exoskeleton kind of a...
I just, with all the, the mechanics of it and how high everything sits on all these, I just don't know. Because if you go to grab something in VR and your hands cross, it's just going to feel clunky to me, Yeah. I don't know. If they could figure that out, get the cost down on them, I think it'd be mainstream. But past that, I don't know if it's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm
not sold, but I think this is going to be a big item at CES. And CES is still a huge mystery. We have a couple things that have come out that we know are going to be at CES, but there's still anything that could pop up that could, really blow us all away. I mean, Samsung could unveil a new headset. And I did hear a little bit of talks about I think it was on the Tested channel or something. They talked about how they heard something about Samsung was possibly going to do a refresh of the Reverb with 4 cameras instead of 2. So is this going to be a thing where Microsoft is updating their mixed reality stuff and they're going to do a version 2 mixed reality? I would love to see that. Or is this just Samsung going on their own? They're going to do an updated 4 camera tracking.
Just please upgrade the controllers. Please, if they do.
I mean, if Windows mixed reality could update the controllers and update the tracking to get more on par with the Rift S and stuff like that, would be an excellent, because they do push the boundaries with the resolution and stuff. We've seen that with the Reverb. So
absolutely.
I would love to see that. I don't know that that's going to happen, but I would love to see it, and it could happen at CES. It could. I mean, anything could happen. So it's hard to say. I would love to see a new Samsung headset.
I feel like they're all trying to reinvent the wheel now. Every time a new headset comes out, like they need to do something epic with them. They just need to fine tune it. We still say the CV1, a great headset. Upgrade that dang thing to put great visuals in it and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't need to do that much to it.
If I could just have a CV1 with, I'll take the inside-out tracking for simplicity of the Rift S. It works good enough, and
I agree.
Mainstream-wise, it makes sense. So give me a CV1 with inside-out tracking. Give me a CV1 with just a little bit wider field of view, more like the Index, and give me that resolution. You know, the Rift S resolution or the Index resolution.
Too is
I'd be
put
sold.
Some of the electronics and stuff in the back of the headset.
We got to start
where
seeing
the
that
strap
Quest
is.
too.
Why don't we do that? Like,
I don't know. That was the whole prototype for Santa Cruz. That was the whole prototype. Was that? And I don't know. Makes a lot more sense. It makes way more sense, but I don't know why. Hopefully with Quest 2, I mean, there's a lot of things I think they're going to update with Quest 2. I think it's going to be a much better headset, but they have to focus more on comfort. That's got to be a focus of Quest 2. It has to be. So hopefully that's the case.
I know. Since there's no straps or anything now you can even get a hold of. So those prices, I was looking at those on eBay, I think 2 nights ago, $200-300 for all the deluxe audio straps on there.
It's crazy.
So if you want to make some bucks and pick up something, if you got one sitting around, holy crap,
I don't know. You better hold on to that thing. That thing's gold because.
Yeah, but eventually there'll be something else out.
Yeah, there will be. So let's go ahead and give away a Payday 2 Steam code.
Man.
This is one of the games that we really loved back in the day. We spent a decent amount of time in Payday 2 in VR. It's a lot of fun. So this one is a really good one to pick up if you don't already have this. It's an excellent game. So, and we might get into a little bit towards some point in the show about what got us into VR and where we started and stuff like that a little bit. That was an idea from the VR mag that he passed over to us, so we wouldn't mind talking a little bit about that.
And if you guys have anything that you want us to talk about on the show, anything you guys have questions with or whatever, go to our Discord, throw it in there. We'd be glad to talk about stuff.
Yeah,
if
we're
you guys
always
really
open
have
to
some
ideas.
issues with headsets or wanting to try something, let us know. We'll gladly bring it up for you guys.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, Payday 2, great game.
Excellent game.
So good. It is. It's a I don't like to call it a wave shooter. Arcade shooter.
But
maybe?
it's a lot more complex than that. We talked about how it has some of that aspect of being sneaky and stealth and all of that in some of the levels. It is. I mean, you can tell it was, in a sense, a port, you know what I mean? Because on a flat screen, there's a ton of enemies. And in VR, that many enemies start to become a little bit overwhelming. So I would love to see the game, a Payday 3 built from the ground up.
But the whole game, though,
VR.
runs in VR. Like, you don't have to go onto the desktop to do anything. It's all in VR, which is actually the lobby is really nice.
Yeah, awesome.
But, this is a game that, like, new people to VR have no clue about probably because it's been out for so long.
No, there's so many.
So it's really cool to introduce people to like these kinds of games that are still relevant in this market. Which this has been out a year and a half, maybe?
Oh, probably longer than that.
VR. I know.
I'm trying to think. It seems like a long time ago that we were playing this a whole bunch, but
yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Have like anybody in chat, since there's 75 people currently, have you guys played this game? I don't think a lot of people have it. I feel like I don't know. I'd like to see a yes or no if you guys have played this.
Yeah.
I love it. It's great.
Yeah, it's a great game. Yeah. And now, Quest people, if they have gaming PC, can play this on the Quest. So
I know.
I do love how the
people were asking us too, like what level of PC do you actually have to run PC VR? And really, there's people not even meeting min spec on stuff and still being able to run some games. Whether it be on like a low setting.
Yeah.
So
it's hard
I don't know.
I mean, we ran 1060 3 gigs for a lot of years in the beginning. We ran those for a long time and had pretty good success. I mean, nowadays, some of these real hardcore games like Asgard's Wrath and stuff, the ones that are real visually stunning and stuff might be a little bit more difficult, but I mean, you got to start somewhere to,
Yep.
Yeah.
It seems like a mixed bag of people who have played it and who haven't played it. Some are saying they have it. Some have played it. Some say it's hectic, which it can be at times.
It does get hectic. I mean, it gets overwhelming. There's a lot of enemies a lot of times, and that's what make it kind of difficult.
Yeah, it is a fun game though. We have a blast with it.
Yeah. I recommend checking it out. It's cool. Yeah, I think it's cool. But
so I want to get into just a little bit. So I have my 5K plus Pimax sitting in front of me. So I don't think I had it fixed last time, but I actually kind of bricked it.
We talked about that on last show. Yeah, you were trying to do a firmware update and you ran into some issues. It kind of froze
on the beta software and stuff. Yeah, so I was trying to push the beta software to it and it froze. wouldn't upload to wouldn't complete essentially. So it did brick it. Anyways, I went through and reinstalled multiple times, couldn't get it to work. And, everyone's complaint is that Pimax, their service and their customer support is garbage. I actually had probably the best experience I've had with any company that I've had to deal with, which I've probably dealt with all of them at this point, of any of them. And what I couldn't believe is they said, they would fix it, but on top of it, they would do it all remotely from their end on my PC and go in and fix the headset as long as it was plugged in, connected, and all that stuff. And which we ended up going to do that. And 5 minutes before I was going to go live with him through Skype and TeamViewer, I ended up fixing it myself, because I think what happened is the headset didn't get uploaded. So I was running the beta software and the headset was maybe still in the old. And after I rebooted it, anyways, I did get it working, but I couldn't believe that they would actually do that. And it was only within like 1 or 2 days time of me emailing them the first time. So I was really impressed with that.
So did you go through, were you in a live chat with them? Is that what it was? Like a live,
So I emailed him, and email reply next day, and he said, here's my Skype name, essentially, contact me. We scheduled a time when we could Skype, because for us in the States and where they're at, it was about a 13-hour difference.
Right.
So it was about 8:30 at night for me, 9:30 in the morning when they started for them. And he was like, we'll get on and I'll get into your headset and stuff and I'll fix it and stuff and you'll be good to go. So I couldn't believe how quick even all that happened and how nice they were about it. So I was really impressed. I know they get some bad press and have had some bad press lately, but I was really,
I know some
really
people have had bad experiences,
great,
and they don't get back to them right away and stuff. Hopefully that's starting to change. I know they're really planning on ramping up production, and they have a lot of things they're doing. So hopefully that does change, and hopefully that
actually, from what I've heard too, is their service stuff. They have actually taken it back to their central headquarters, is where they're dealing with all of their service stuff out of now. Because I think they had some US based stuff that they were trying to do too. Just probably for time zone purposes. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It worked great for me. I was really excited about it. So
yeah,
hopefully they're doing good things with it. Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully the service and stuff will increase and get better as they go. And that is another company that's going to be at CES. They have some big plans for CES. They have some things that they are planning on unveiling more about. We got a little bit more information about the Artisan headset and stuff like that. And also I saw this image. So we have, this is some of their stuff that says meet us at CES, and they're showing, the 8K and the dual 4K screens. The one that really interested me is this one. So they talked about some surprises, and this is showing a headset. According to the image, says Super, but the thing that is interesting, it says 180 hertz. What? Like 180 hertz? That's kind of unheard of for
in
VR.
The fine print, does it say like you need 3 GPUs to run this?
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about too.
One per screen, one monitor.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to pull this off, because I mean the index, the index, they have that experimental 144 hertz mode, and that's a lot more demanding on your GPU and your system. So I don't know, 180 hertz. I mean, it sounds incredible, sounds really cool, but
here's the thing. So I know with a lot of it too, if they're running the native resolution to the lenses, and there doesn't have to be any upscaling going on, no extra processing, I know they're able to pass more information. But at the same time, I mean, it has to be like a narrow field of view at a high hertz, but I don't know either. I don't know how they're achieving this, and they must be at a point. I know they've gone through some renditions of cables lately, and I know they had some issues with some of the cables that they demoed at Berlin and stuff, and some voltage issues because they were all handmade. Well, now that they're into the production ones, they've done the last round of testing, and they thought they were going to have to go into like a version 5, but they said the version 4 with the cable is basically perfect. So they're actually going to go into production phase 1, and that's what they're in now. So I mean, they must be handling a ton of information through these cables, whatever they're using. Still on GPU side, I don't know how they're doing it. I don't
know. And I'm sure we're going to find out more info. If this is really going to get unveiled at CES, we're going to find out more info on how they're going to do this. And
Jason in chat was just saying, I can't see anything past 120 hertz. And yeah, I don't really know what the full gain would be by going past much of that. Like 180, that's,
that seems a pretty big jump. So
I mean, I get it. It'll be future. I mean, I'm sure
Yeah.
we'll be up there, but
Yeah, I mean, and we are getting
yeah,
probably some 3080 series GPUs this year,
right,
I would
exactly. Yeah,
imagine. But I mean, those aren't out yet, so it's not like they're able to test these on
I
those yet. I
know.
mean, so they have to be running them on 2080 Ti's or something. I mean, it has to be
Dual
possible.
2080s has to be dual
I mean,
2080s.
can you
There's
even do that? I don't even know if you can do that yet, but I don't know because I know
maybe
VR
not.
is kind of weird with the SLI
I know.
GPUs and stuff.
I know.
Maybe they've come up with something I don't know, but I mean, it seems cool. The weird thing about
Oh, it
Pimax is
is.
their lineup is a little bit confusing. I wouldn't mind seeing them slimming down, to a low, mid,
Sure.
and a high grade instead of there are a lot of headsets, and for us, it's not that big a deal. For everybody
Right.
here that are VR enthusiasts, and it is kind of a VR enthusiast headset, but they are wanting to get it more entry level too. It does get confusing.
Yeah.
So for somebody just jumping into VR, it's hard enough for them to understand the difference between a Rift S and a Quest. For us, it's night and
Right.
day. We know the difference, but
But there's nobody buying these headsets that are just getting into VR. Unless they're into Sims or something, then sure, maybe. But I don't see this. This isn't an entry level. And I know they're wanting to get
yeah,
that direction.
they're
That's
wanting to go with
fine.
that with the Artisan. That's supposed to be,
I
a
agree.
very entry level headset, a very cheap, easy to obtain headset. And we don't know the price yet. I don't know the price, and we can get
Right.
into a little bit of that. But they did say with the Artisan that they have two different SKUs. They have two different models you can buy. So you can buy just the Artisan headset, or you can buy the Artisan headset that comes with Nolo controllers and tracking system
Right.
that you don't need
Yeah.
lighthouses or anything like that. So if you don't have lighthouses and controllers already, you can get the Nolo set, which to me is a little bit weird in itself. I don't know that. I know what they want is a cheap, easy to obtain, easy to jump into system, that you can upgrade over time. All
Right.
the modules that they're going to come out with support it, but the Nolo controllers just seem kind of a weird jump to me.
I know. And I think they got scared away a little bit because of having the index control or the knuckles controllers. They were relying on the supply from Valve, and that kind of fell through in the beginning. They thought they were going to have those right away. And then when those started selling like hotcakes, Valve didn't probably have that many to give to them. So I don't know. I don't know if they want to go with a simpler route or a cheaper route or
Yeah, I think it's all about
I don't know
cost. I
either.
mean, I think it's all
It is,
about
I'm sure.
they want to be able to sell a headset that works and comes with controllers and everything you need right out of the
Right.
box. And they talked about, this is MRTV. Sebastian was interviewing Kevin, the one lead, the COO, I think, of Pimax. And
Right.
he mentioned being able to grab a laptop, throw this on. You go to somebody's house, grab a laptop, throw these on there and play. Show people VR and stuff. And in a sense, it makes sense. In another, it doesn't to me. I don't know. Like I would
know.
have rather them, and I know they worked on some inside out tracking, and I know they ran into some issues with that and stuff. But I would prefer, if the problem is that everybody has a hard time building the inside out tracking as well as what Oculus has done with
Sure.
it. We saw that with the Cosmos. Their tracking still isn't anywhere near as good as the Quest
Right.
and the Rift S. So I don't know, but it'll be interesting to see how many of the. I don't see this being a really hot item. I see maybe the Artisan, just the headset itself, for
Sure.
people that have had a Vive, and they want to upgrade to something a little bit better visuals and stuff, the original Vive, but they have, the controllers and they have the base stations. That it makes sense to me. I don't know how many people were going to order this, and
Well, what about somebody who wants a good sim headset cheap too, and doesn't want to invest in all the tracking setup and stuff, and they just want it for in-menu use and stuff. I
Yeah.
could see it for that. If they could get a package price cheap enough, if I didn't have any headsets, I was into sim racing, flight sims, it wouldn't be a bad option.
Yeah.
I don't see it for somebody that really wants to do the full VR setup,
Yeah.
because of the limited amount of tracking
I
and
mean,
stuff with
playing
this.
Boneworks and stuff with this setup is not.
No,
It's not
no,
going to
no,
be
no, don't worry.
ideal. I
Yeah.
mean, because this is
No.
going to be more like a PSVR style. Supposedly, the tracking
Right.
volume is a lot better than PSVR. It is going to be a front-facing kind of a deal. But
180,
supposedly, they've
yeah.
made a lot of improvements software side and stuff on this system since it first came out.
I know.
But it'll be. I mean, the whole thing is going to come down to the price. What can you get this kit for?
Right.
And the Artisan headset is supposed to be. I think it's going to be 120 hertz, and it's supposed to be roughly around the 140-degree field of view. So, from what Kevin said, a little bit less than the lowest setting on a regular Pimax.
And I don't
headset.
mind Pimax actually reaching out to use other things. I think they tried to do their own controllers. They saw how tough that was and how many resources they have to invest into it.
Yeah.
So if you want to be good at making headsets, make headsets. I've said months ago now at this point that I think every headset should just be like a monitor. It should be universal. It should just plug into your PC and work. I wish they would all go that route, and everyone would just make headsets, and then you could buy controllers separate as well. And you can for a lot of things because of Steam
with
VR,
Steam,
but
yeah.
right. But I don't know if they were all more universal like this and perfect what they're good at, we might end up with better things. So
Yeah, so
we'll
that's
see.
what
Yeah,
VR Mania Q said. Nolo for sim equals perfect. So I mean
that was
that
my
yeah.
thinking
So I'm
too.
interested to see like is anybody planning on ordering this kit with the Nolo controllers? And I don't know if anybody here is going to be because
Right.
a lot of these people in chat and stuff are a lot more hardcore VR people like we
Gamers.
are. Yeah,
Yeah,
so they But I don't know. I mean, I think the Artisan headset alone, I think, is going to be a great headset for an entry level
I do
headset
too.
because you're going to get,
Absolutely.
you're going to get visuals similar to the Index, resolution similar
Yep.
to the Index with a, and Kevin said, if you go from Index straight to the Artisan headset with the field of view bump, even though it's not the full, 200 degree that you can
Right.
get on a Pimax,
Right.
he said it's still very noticeable. So going
Sure
from
it is.
Index to the Artisan at 140 degree field of view is a noticeable jump. So
I get it.
I mean, if it's cheap enough, that's an excellent, option. If you are upgrading from an original Vive or something like that,
Sure.
excellent choice. I think it's a
Look,
great
and
idea.
I get people asking me all the time because I know I have the 5K plus, and they're like, "Okay, is it better to go to the Index or is it better to go to the Pimax?" And it's still back and forth, but honestly, the Pimax for me is catching up because the software works so good now.
Yeah,
You don't have to
yeah.
screw with things.
Everything's getting better for Pimax, I think.
Inside their software, you used to have to fine tune, put a game on, and if it didn't work, go change some settings and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Now there's a pre-list of basically every game out there that you select it changes all your settings to exactly what it needs to be,
Right.
which that's amazing. All your game library from Oculus to Steam get imported into PyTool. So you just pull PyTool up, start it, and it'll start whatever you need to, runs perfect. I'm really changing my mind on a lot of it.
I'm
I
really
got
looking
it for
forward.
testing purposes, but I'm really liking it.
I'm really looking forward to the next generation, the 8KX and stuff,
I know.
because they've increased the structure of the body. The body of the headset itself is going to be better
Yeah,
quality, stronger.
Yep.
So I really want to get my hands on an
agree.
8KX. I can't wait to try that. And that
I
is
know.
one thing I do really wish we were at CES for, because a lot of people are comparing this to, the much higher price Star VRs and Xtals and stuff because of that resolution.
Yep.
So, I mean, this is a much cheaper option. If you look at, I think the 8KX is going to be like $1,100, $1,200, something like that for the headset, but that's still way cheaper. I mean, an Xtal Star VR is like $6,000 or something. So, I mean, if you want a high field of view, with a really high resolution, this could be a really good option that'll be available hopefully soon. That's the other thing is
I know
they get pushed back a lot.
So how about Xtel's 8K headset? They've got their own now too, which we don't know any prices on or anything yet. But and we did find out that their 8K, there you go, is 4K per eye.
Right.
So it is 4K per eye. Right.
It's not 8K per eye or one 8K panel. As far as we understand, it's going to be 4K by 4K. So,
yeah, there was no way.
Yeah, I mean, I could maybe an 8K single panel that was possible. I don't think 2 8K panels, but it looks cool though. It actually looks. I like this design, and it looks for being a bigger front headset. It looks pretty comfortable. Sure. I do. Yeah. I mean, I see a lot of padding and stuff on there.
Yeah, the strap looks really nice actually.
Yeah. So
I like the add-on straps. For that stability for the left and right movement.
Yeah. I just wanted to real quick, everybody in chat. So Paradise DK said no Nolo for me. Rudel Zavedno said no. Grace VR, Nolo, YOLO. I don't know. I just wanted to read
I get it. Look, when we have better stuff and we already have it, and most of us probably already have it in hand that are here watching this.
Yeah.
It would be hard to go to something like that.
I mean, if this was years ago, then I probably would have been really excited for those Nolo controllers.
I agree.
But
I would agree.
So yeah, but I mean, that's the Xtal headset I'm really excited to see more about, and this is going to be at CES. Supposedly, this headset is going to be at CES, make its debut there, and it's really cool looking. And I'm sure the price is going to be insane. I don't know if we'll find out the price. I don't think the price has been released yet. I'm guessing probably CES.
I haven't seen it. Yeah. Yep.
And
there's a lot of stuff coming to CES. There you go.
Picture.
I do like that picture, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's sweet. And they actually, funny enough, I think it's probably an add-on, I'm sure, but they're selling a strap for helmets. So for training purposes or something like that, that you can strap it on, actually just like this, because at CES they are going to do F16 or F18 demo of the headset.
Yeah, and I mean that's the main focus for these headsets.
Sure, it is. Absolutely.
Is industry stuff and training stuff. It's not really for the home user, even though we all want this. I mean, obviously everybody's going to want this headset, but it's just affordability and stuff is going to be hard to achieve
Anakazi
it.
in chat was asking what's the price of the Nolo, and I think it's $199 if you buy it outright.
I
Isn't
looked
it?
on Amazon, and I believe outright the Nolo was $199, and I think that was actually from Nolo themselves. I
Right.
saw an article where they wanted to make it for the kit $99. I don't know if they ever achieved that or not, but I
Okay.
know on Amazon right now, from what I saw, is $199. So, and I'm sure, with Pimax, I'm sure they worked out a deal with them. So I'm sure, they're going to be getting these for a lot cheaper than what you can buy them outright. They're going to try to buy a ton of them. So I'm sure that'll help
Yeah.
some too. So, I mean, you're figuring if this is, I don't know what the breakdown will be, but if you can get just a Pimax Artisan headset for, $500, and then the one
Right.
with the Nolos for
Exactly.
$575, $599, maybe it's
Right,
not a
exactly.
bad. And I don't know what the price is going to be, but
Sure, I get it.
yeah.
Yeah, so Christopher Davis in chat was saying, aren't you still seeing the skewed? Aren't the sides still skewed in Pimax? Skewing the side every time you turn your head is a no-go. For me, it's basically everything is in focus, dead straight, and on just on the peripheral sides, it's out of focus. But really, I mean, your natural vision, if you were to look straight and you think about what's to your sides, it is out of focus already.
Yeah.
Now I get, turning your eyes in the headset. It may not be that way, but we're not really going to have that until we would ever have eye tracking and foveated rendering and all that. So, we're not really ever going to see true looking around with your eyes in a headset until that. So for me, it's not even really noticeable.
Is there any kind of stutter like on
No,
in your
I have
peripheral
no
vision
stutter.
when you turn?
I'm on a 2080. I see no breaking in of the screen or anything. No.
Okay.
So
interesting. So
yeah.
so the a little bit more about the Xtal 8K headset. It's like we said, 4K per eye. They have plans for foveated rendering and eye tracking on the next software update. Is that correct? And also, this could be the first headset that we're going to see the actual virtual link cable. So that's
true.
That's going to be using the USB-C port on an RTX series card, which, there was a time when they talked about that being the new industry standard, and every new headset that comes out is going to utilize that. We saw Index when that was first being pre-ordered, and you could actually order a cable that was going to be the virtual link cable that was going to hook up that way, and then they later canceled it for whatever reason, some issues with it, and they weren't happy with it. So this could be the first one we see actually utilizing that virtual link cable. It'll be interesting. And I don't know if that's still, obviously not still the industry standard, but it never went that route. But
I'm getting an echo back. You hearing that?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Are you echoing or am I?
I am, to myself, just making sure.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody can hear that.
Yeah, no, it stopped actually right there.
Okay, cool. But yeah, so it'll be interesting. Like I said, there are going to be so many surprises at CES, I think. But this is just the things that are out early that we can talk about now a little bit. And
so, do you think that Facebook is going to drop any AR stuff, or Oculus? I don't know how they're going to brand it if they do.
Is Oculus even going to CES this year? I don't know that they're even going to be there because they do their own, so much of their own stuff.
Trying to think.
Yeah, I don't know that Oculus does have their own booth, and I don't know if anybody else knows
that.
I think
they do have something. I'm pretty sure they do. I thought, they do. I think. Maybe not.
I don't know. I mean, I know they used to go to CES. Like I said, they were. I see some stuff about Go back in 2018 about CES. Right. I don't know that Oculus is going to be there though. I mean, they have so much of their own pool with F8 and OC Oculus Connect. I don't know that they're going to be there, and maybe somebody in chat might know a little bit more. But I would be surprised honestly if Oculus is at CES. I don't think they're going to be day because they have F8 coming up in what is that? That's in May.
Oh, right. Sure.
So, I mean, anything big they are going to want to talk about, that's going to wait until
if they're
F8.
coming out with AR stuff for the public, though, and it's going to be under Facebook and not Oculus, then maybe they would. But
I don't think they're ready for the AR stuff. I know they're working on it. I know I think that's going to be their next big push is the AR stuff. But I don't think we're going to see anything from Facebook with AR stuff probably until the next Oculus Connect at the end of this year. Maybe a little bit of stuff at F8, but I think that's going to be...
I think we are going to see a lot of AR stuff, though, from other companies because there's already been in the last month or so a bunch of like glasses that have been released with AR built into them and stuff.
I mean, I know Nreal is going to be at CES, so I know that's a lot of people are going to get to try that out at CES.
Yep. But see, when I was in like the HoloLens and stuff, I just didn't like, because we're used to VR, I didn't like that it was such a minimal screen. It's just such a limited field of view that it clips in and out of. To me, it seemed tiny compared to being in VR and stuff now. So, and I'm sure like the HoloLens 2, which I have not tried, is way better and larger screen size and all that stuff. But I don't know, until it's full vision, full everything,
Yeah.
full lens. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure once Oculus Facebook comes out with their AR, it's, I mean, Microsoft right now probably has the best, with the HoloLens too, but
sure, they probably
I
do.
know Facebook, Oculus have been working on this for a long time. So hopefully, I mean, they got a lot of money. They got a big budget. They're not afraid to spend it on research and stuff. So I have a feeling we'll be impressed with whatever they do AR wise down the road. Definitely looking forward to it, but yeah, I don't know.
I know.
So. What about this book that you found on
you like that?
on Amazon?
Oh, did you bring that in? Good,
because that cracked me up. So this is
so anybody who hasn't seen it, can you see what's wrong with it before? Because I posted this to Reddit. I was dying about this. But the title of the book actually says, what is it? I can't actually see it mine's pretty small here.
It's the Simple Oculus Quest User Guide for Beginners, the essential manual for all VR or whatever.
Right, but on the book, what's it say?
The Simple Oculus Quest.
There you go.
User Guide for Beginners.
So, there's definitely not a quest on there.
Oculus Quest Fun just asked, is that real? This is real.
So I posted that too on Reddit. I'm like, I did not Photoshop it. Here's the link for proof. I couldn't take it. I'm like, really? Like, whoever wrote this book or edited this book or put this together has no idea. I would not trust one thing inside this book because you don't even know what an Oculus Quest is. Like,
yeah, I mean, I looked at this and I was like, okay, somebody wrote a book about Oculus Quest, guide for beginners, and then I'm like, wait a minute, they could have at least put an Oculus Quest headset on the cover of the book. It says amazing. Oculus Quest, and then it shows a picture of a Rift S, so that just totally ruins my confidence in this book right off the bat.
I was really hoping on the cover it said something about being wireless, and then having the wire right there on the Rift S.
Come on. So weird. And this thing has 2 reviews, as you can see, 2 5-star reviews from probably his grandma and his uncle. I don't know. I'm not sure how it got to 5-star reviews.
Look, I'm not dogging the book. Like, don't get me wrong.
I don't know
I'm
the
sure
book.
The book
haven't read
great.
it. Haven't read it.
Right.
I don't know if I go that far.
Please update the cover.
I don't know. I mean, it was funny to me because when you read the description, one of the things that stuck out to me, other than the bad grammar and stuff, that's what a gaming science teacher noted about. It looks like a student wrote it, but was the fact that it said it will teach you how to, and then one of the first things it said is teach you how to unbox your Quest. And I was like, what's like, I mean, come on. I mean, I don't think anybody needs to learn how to unbox the Quest. I mean, that's kind of a little silly, but
look at it for a while, take pictures, go get a knife, cut the tape,
figure out the secret code to unlock the latch. And
oh my gosh,
look, Chris, this is real. I mean, hey, if anybody has read this book and stuff, feel free to let us know what you thought.
Maybe I should just buy it just to see. If it shows up like this, I'll put it on a shelf or something.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this would be kind of a funny thing to have. I could add this to my shelf.
I could probably afford that.
Yeah, I could add this to my shelf. That's kind of cool. But I am interested to see how it reads and what. I don't know. It's kind of, when you first sent this to me, I was like, what? Like, I thought, like some of the other people in chat, I thought that it was a joke. I thought it was just, because you see those funny memes that people make all the time and stuff, and that's what I thought. But this is a legitimate item on Amazon that you can purchase. And I don't know if we put the link in the description. We might have to add that.
I didn't to this, but I can. Sure, I'll add it. So. It's amazing though.
Paradise Decay said, I see the mistake. It says paperback, but it's a hardback.
Ridiculous.
Oh, that is so funny.
I know.
Hilarious, but
all right. Anyways, let's get back on serious stuff here.
Oh man, that is funny. So, another thing that came out, and I guess this has actually been out for a little while, and I haven't not done this yet, and I really want to, is the Oculus Quill Theatre. So you can actually go, and this is on Quest, you can actually go in and the video might have froze there. So you can go in and actually watch people, or go into people's worlds, that they've made in Quill, their illustrations and stuff like that. You can go into them and experience them, which is really cool. And there's actually a new one of Spider-Man.
I was just going to say,
really cool. And
unbelievable.
I guess this one is actually officially on there, and that you can go into. And this one looks, I mean, this is almost a new way that you can make short films. You can make movies almost,
Crazy,
with this kind of thing.
I know.
Let's switch over here.
Crazy.
See if it plays a little better.
Yeah, there you go.
So this is the Spider-Man. And I think it is turned down. But yeah, I mean, I haven't tried this. I really want to, because
Right.
this looks incredible. This looks really cool. So if anybody has tried this yet in chat, definitely interested to see what they think. And in general, there's a bunch of cool ones, and these are curated by Oculus. So not anybody can just get on there.
Sure.
So there's going to be some curation of what goes on. But
Yep.
this is a Quillustration, they call it, and it looks incredible.
Crazy.
I mean, it's just crazy, the talent that some of these people have. I watch a lot of like the Rosie Summer stuff that does illustrations and stuff. She'll do like live events, where she's there and has a screen and does a paint thing. And she did the all the Christmas stuff. Each day had a new thing, and it's just extremely talented. It makes me a little bit jealous that I can't do this. And I've tried a little bit in medium and stuff like that, and it's just I don't have that artistic ability that some other people have, but. Yeah, this is crazy. Yeah, I definitely want to check this one out. This one is cool.
And so I guess it took this guy 2 weeks to do this, which I thought was impressive. I can't believe that happened in 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah. This would take me.
That's crazy.
2
I know.
Years, and I still wouldn't look that good. Yeah, it's really
cool.
Really cool.
I mean, all of it, the coloring, the lighting, I really don't know. I haven't dove into Quill enough to even know. I mean, I did when it first came out a long time ago. Played with it, tried to make a couple things.
Yeah.
It wasn't that good.
Yeah. So. I mean, for me, it was never something I was that into just because of my artistic ability. But the fact that you can go into other people's stuff, that is what I'm interested in, because the talent of people have, and that is cool. So I'm definitely interested in going in for that reason.
Unbelievable, yeah. And then to be able to share it too like that, which is really cool.
Yeah, pretty awesome. So another thing that this actually, we just got a little bit of an exclusive to show you guys that this came through just before the show. Real quick, this is on Holoception. And if you don't know, Holoception now has a free demo on Steam. So you've heard us talk about it before. If you've never played it, they're completely free demo on Steam that you can pick up
Which
now.
is awesome, yeah.
Yeah, so demos are always cool. But
yeah, because a demo of this too gives you time to learn the controls and stuff and play with them and figure it out. I mean,
so this is the demo footage. And this is a game that I think makes an excellent demo, because it is a game that doesn't always make sense to watch it, and there is a learning curve. So some people have picked this up and been like, I don't get it, but there's a time where you have to play that everything just starts to click and it feels natural. And you see this here. You can do the third person field of view or the third person view where you're controlling the character almost like a puppet kind of a thing, but you can also zoom in and you can go into first person mode as well. So I mean, it's really cool. I mean, even just there, not even the gameplay, just the sandbox mode almost of it, to where you just play with things is a ton of fun. But they sent us over some exclusive footage of what they've been working on, and this is a future update to come, hopefully pretty soon. And if you are a fan of, Spartan movies or anything like that, this looks pretty cool. This looks pretty cool. So
it does. Even the world looked completely different too, which is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it fits that. Yeah, it fits that genre of the the environment and stuff. So, and then, the slow motion works really good.
That's crazy. Like stabbing them. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. So awesome.
And Paranoid Android just subscribed, so thank
you. Cheers,
for that.
Paranoid. That's awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Appreciate it. Glad you're here.
Yeah, Sweet. This looks really cool. I was excited to see this. So hopefully this is coming pretty soon. This isn't probably going to be in the demo that we just talked about, but the actual game, this is going to be an update to the actual game. So
yep, that's great.
Pretty
I can't believe when you stab. There's one where they stab it into him and then let it go and it stays in him.
Oh yeah,
it's awesome.
It really is cool. So I'm looking forward to this update. It's going to be pretty fun. I actually haven't been in Holoception in a little while. I need to jump back in that because they've done a lot of updates. They've added a lot of stuff since the last time I've been in it. So I
have a problem because I go so hard in it that I'm sweating bullets trying to do all these things.
Controllers?
Well, let's not. I know. Let's not.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. Excited for that. That was really cool. They sent it over to
it is
share.
awesome.
So keep an eye out for that if you do have Holoception.
Definitely grab the demo. If not, there's no reason to.
Oh yeah, for sure. Play the demo. See what you think.
Great.
Yeah, so it's pretty awesome.
It does take some learning though. I will give them that, but they do have a really good tutorial and stuff in there now. Whoa, I can't read that. At least you didn't hide the number this time.
There we go. So that is, I don't know if that is, it might be the wrong one.
Wrong one?
Maybe. Where is that at? And this is actually Star Trek Bridge Crew. This is not Sprint Vector. I don't think I changed the thing. So this is actually Star Trek Bridge Crew, I believe. I might have forgot to change some of these names. Let me see if I can change that.
That's all right. They know it now. But I actually, some people were talking on our Discord too about wanting to get people together to play Star Trek Bridge Crew, and I have actually not even played it myself. I mean, we've given multiple copies away of it. I don't even have it myself.
I think the thing that reinvigorated this game was the Quest coming out on the Quest.
Sure,
that's something that's really cool.
And it was cross-buy too. So
no, it's only cross-buy if you have.
It was only if you bought the bundle, right?
If you had all of the DLCs, you could get it cross-buy.
Yep, that's true. Yep.
But
still,
cool.
I mean, that's pretty cool too. At least they did that.
Yeah, for sure. So,
but yeah, I haven't even got to play it myself.
Yeah, we need to get in there. We need to get in there with some people. I think that would be a fun one.
Yep, I do too. I think you can get how many people? What can you get in 4?
I'm not sure, honestly.
I think it's 4. I think somebody will know in chat. They always do.
Yeah, true that. I'll put some bug. Hopefully the video has been acting a little funny in this scene here. So, all right, it's gonna work. Hopefully, is that lagging for you, Tyler?
No, it's okay.
Okay, you're good. So. Yeah, just we haven't had a ton of new mugshots. I got a couple added in here, but if you don't know what the mugshots are, this is a section in our Discord. Feel free to join the Discord, and people just post their coffee mugs. A lot of times their setups behind the coffee mug, all kind of cool pictures in there. So if you haven't joined yet, that is something we always look forward to every week is seeing new mugshots. So that's pretty cool.
I was trying to get my video in there too, but didn't happen.
I can't wait to see
I'll get
that.
it in there.
Yeah,
I know. I'll get it in there.
For sure.
Yep. My high effort making coffee. Not really. All these animation ones now are amazing too. I can't believe how real this stuff is. Who was it? I think it was Nilsson that put the fireworks on.
Oh yeah,
for the 4th of July. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I did forget to add that on here. So he actually made it to where it was fireworks blowing up, and then it had the RR as it blew up the fireworks. And yeah, people are super talented.
I can't even believe it.
I mean, like FlukeRogi that made the spinning head advertisement for us for the coffee mug. I mean, just really, really cool stuff. So
VR Spry guy said he got a new RR mug and he'll have to post one soon, which is awesome. That's sweet. Yeah, that's really sweet. Yeah, speaking of, Jason posted last night on Discord.
4 on Bridge Crew.
4, that's what I thought. Yeah. Jason posted, the developer of Drop-In posted his sim racing setup last night, and it made me jealous too because he's got a good one. Hutch, pleasure. Hutch. Glad you're here.
Hutch is
Hope
clutch.
You drink some coffee with us, right?
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for
yeah, that's a good one.
That's pretty cool.
That is. But man, my janky setup. Oh, all I want to do right now is play some racing sims. Like, it's a problem.
Yeah. Have you worked on that rig at all anymore?
I got my my cord set up a lot better to where it's really streamlined and stuff, where the cords are all tucked up nicely into it. I still need to put a hanger and stuff on for the headset. And then after that, I really want to finish it off. So I'm either going to paint it or stain it, one or the other. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But that's kind of where I'm at with it. But it worked really well. So I'm really excited with it. Awesome. It's not adjustable. I wish it was adjustable because everybody was trying it over New Year's. Yeah. And some people that were shorter and stuff, maybe the distances weren't right for their legs. But, you
did talk about doing a Subaru, like an STI seat or something like that. If you did do that, you could put an actual track on it. Because right now you have your computer chair where it's kind of
locked into it.
Yeah, locked in. But if you did something like that, that would definitely be adjustable. Make it
which works great. I mean, it does work really well for me and me only because you can't adjust it. But, I mean, who else is really using it? I mean, let's be honest.
Right, for the most part, except for when you have people over,
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
I know.
For the most part.
Yeah, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, it's coming. It's a work in progress, but I'll figure it out.
Yeah, getting there. Yeah, for sure.
Yep. For awesome. The $20 it cost me. I mean, what's it matter? Rizzle, pleasure, man.
Thank you. That is really awesome. We really appreciate it.
Honestly, I think all of these funds need to go to trip funds, man.
Yeah, I think really that is what we might do for right now. For this year,
I think 100% that's what they need to go to because it brings you guys more coverage and more stuff and more information. Yeah. So I think that is the best return we can do for you guys is to try and use it for funding for that stuff. So we really do appreciate that.
Like PAX East, GDC, Oculus Connect, stuff like that. And another thing, just to get to meet, because some of the people in our chat are going to be at some of these. So I think it's going to be a great opportunity just to get to meet some of these people in person. So really looking forward to that. So I think that is what the main focus of any of the funding right now that we get is going to go into the shows and the conferences and stuff that we can try to go to this year.
Because I think minimum just for us to show up, we're going to have, I think for most of them, they're all about the same with tickets and have to stay however long we do. We're probably looking at $2,000 just to go to these.
All in all. I don't know. Maybe we might be able to do a little bit cheaper. I think I think the tickets for PAX East were around $200 and some for the 4-day pass. That's per person.
CS was $300. So there's 600, with both of us.
Yeah.
Flights were well over 400 if it's on the West Coast, then staying and stuff too.
Hotel and stuff.
Yeah, it just gets crazy.
Gets
but
a little crazy, but
we
we're gonna
definitely
try.
want to do it.
Yeah, we're gonna try to get to as many of them as we can this year. And like we said, if you guys have a recommendation of which ones you would like to see us try to go to, and which ones you're going to go to, if anybody in here is going to some, so we can try to have some meetups and meet some people and stuff. There's so many cool people in the VR industry.
I know.
I mean, so many cool content creators and stuff that it's really pretty exciting.
And the community is just getting bigger. So especially, everybody here and everybody that joins us live, especially, it's a small community. It's people who've been around for a while. So it's going to get bigger. So we kind of have to enjoy it while we can, because it's catching on like fire right now, which is exciting, but it will change. So
it definitely is growing.
Have you, like, all the games that I've been into, like the last week, there are so many new people, and you can tell that by age, by experience, by people looking at their hands, like, whoa, I have a gun in here. Oh, I can do this. And it's like, them showing somebody, which is fun and it's exciting because we were all there at some point, which I think we kind of want to talk about too.
Yeah, we actually have. I forgot about that. So we do want to get into a little bit.
Might be a good lead in for that, actually.
Yeah, so this was actually the VR Mag's idea, was get into a little bit of how we started into VR, what got us into it and stuff like that. We've talked a little bit about this periodically through the show. We wanted to spend a little bit of time on it. So really, I mean, the thing that got us super excited about VR was Oculus in the early days, seeing the DK1 prototypes. And I remember I think I watched every single YouTube video I could find of the original DK1 when people first started getting their hands on that and demos of that. Like, that was the first.
Kickstarter, all that.
Yeah, yeah. And that was, and back then, we weren't PC gamers. We were Xbox gamers. So I never backed the original Oculus because I didn't have a PC that would be able to run anything like that. So back then, I wasn't ready to get all into it, but I was 100% interested in everything I could learn about it.
We knew we wanted to be in it. We knew that. We just didn't know if it was ready for us and vice versa. So.
I can remember the moment sitting on the couch and me and you, 500 miles away, we're just sending back and forth every single link that we could find of, of stuff on this. And I mean, the big thing back then was what was that demo?
The house.
I have it on my Quest. I actually put it on my Quest.
Oh, come on. Somebody's going to know in chat. That's a good one, too.
Yeah.
That's a good trivia question, too.
Yeah, it is. It is on Quest. I mean, on side Quest, you can't put that on your Quest. And I did just because I remember those days of seeing that and how badly I wanted to go into those experiences, but I didn't have a DK1 or a PC back then. But, oh, man, I can't think of what it's called now. But,
I know, I can't either. That's horrible.
Yeah.
It's so close. Wasn't it? I'm right there with it too. Somebody will think of it. Yeah. But yeah, I know. I was like, I want to live in that world. I want to be in that house. I want to explore the grounds outside of it. I want to do all that.
And these were like 720 panels. I think these were 720p panels back then on DK1.
Probably
I mean,
DK1,
so
probably.
I remember hearing the screen door effect and all of that, and how. Thank you to Attack Gorilla, just subscribed. Awesome.
Cheers, Attack. Pleasure, man.
For being here. We definitely appreciate it.
Subs, man. Subs are fire right now. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's been
I can't
awesome.
believe it.
So, but yeah, I mean, we were pretty much just excited from that point on, and then the DK2 stuff came out, and we were still constantly looking at everything.
Tuscany,
we could
somebody
find.
got it.
Tuscany,
that's what it was.
I
knew. I was trying to think it was something in Italy or something.
Android. I knew it was something like that. I just couldn't think of the name. But
appreciate it, man.
And if you haven't done that, it is on SideQuest. It's pretty. I mean, it's nothing nowadays. What we have, it's really nothing super impressive, but it's still cool. It's almost like stepping back into that scene that I wanted to see back then, and I didn't get to. So
I agree.
Yeah, it was really cool. So. And then, so really, it all started out with you and the Gear VR. That was the first intro really into VR.
I had the beta, the developer's kit for the Note 4 for the Gear VR, which was basically all SDK stuff at the time. They did finally come out with, I don't think they didn't have like a store. I'm trying to think how it was on that. It was on the phone, so you downloaded the application, the game experience, whatever. And it was basically like the original version of sideloading, but your phone already had it. So you had to approve the SDKs and all that stuff and install them. And there was a lot of great stuff that came out. They had the VR Jam at the time, which really helped push developers into a competition of developing for VR. And man, was there some good stuff that came out for it. And that was probably the first iteration of VR where I was like, this is going to be huge. It will be.
Right.
And it was then. It even was then. When I could put people in it then, like my in-laws and stuff would come over. My mother-in-law, she, it scared her to death. So I'm like,
Oh
look,
yeah.
these people think it's real, and it's not what it could be even yet.
Yeah.
So I had that forever. You tried it.
Well, I was super jealous because
I
you
know.
you had this, and back then I had an iPhone, so there was nothing really, there was no Gear VR or anything that you
Nothing
could.
yet.
That was when like cardboard and stuff started
No,
becoming
it wasn't
pop.
even cardboard yet. No,
Well,
there was no cardboard even at the
yeah,
time.
after that, because I
Yeah,
remember
there was.
what I did was I ordered one of those cheap plastic headsets that I could stick any phone in. So I was able to stick my iPhone in there, which the iPhone back then was pretty small. It wasn't a very big screen,
Yeah,
but it
right.
was still incredible. So so my first experience, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think if I did that before I tried your Gear VR. I can't remember. But I
No,
know.
you tried the Gear VR because
Yeah.
then you were like, look, I want to try and do this cardboard thing. Then when it released and stuff,
Yeah.
I think the first thing I put you in was, and I'm trying to remember it, PD, I think, told me the last time, was the bullet game.
Yeah,
I think
where
was the first
basically
one,
you
wasn't
were
it?
the bullet. So you
Yeah.
you were the bullet, and you had to move through a house or whatever to hit the object at the end, which was really cool. And I'm still surprised. And I think they did do something that
They did do a re-release on Oculus, I think, of it. I forget. PD did a video on it. I forget what it was called.
I can't remember what it's called either.
Man,
but it was cool. And the other thing, and one of the things that stuck in my head was there was a game where I think you were a mouse and you had to get away from the cat, and you were a mouse on the floor.
Good one.
And one of those first feelings that I remember is that in that game, what was it?
Like scale.
Yeah. Well, for me, it transformed my head onto the floor. And that was what was so weird to me, because I was sitting in a chair and I went into this game where you're this little mouse on the floor, and it just felt like my head was running around the floor everywhere. It was the weirdest
like you
feeling.
Were small. I know.
It was the weirdest
small.
feeling. Yeah, it was so weird.
I know.
So after that, I was already excited about VR, but that got me like to where I was like, this is going to be incredible. Like, and this was before, we really even thought about, 6 degree of freedom stuff to a certain extent, because we had never tried anything like that yet. But I did purchase the cheap plastic thing that I put my iPhone in. And one of the best experiences that I had on that was the Sisters demo. And that was a horror demo that was in a room. I put everybody I knew in that thing. I put my Turtle Beach headset, my Turtle Beach headphones from the Xbox to my phone. And so you had good audio. And it terrified me the first time I did it. It was scary.
Well, isn't it funny? Even back then, we knew that, like, by putting headphones on, it kept you in that world because you didn't hear somebody else talking.
Yeah.
It kept you inside and gives you that immersion. And we still to this day feel that way.
Yeah.
Even though now we have off your headphones and stuff, but
and it just
I still feel that way with a lot of it.
It helps being able to tell like where something was coming from, right or left.
But we were figuring
like
these things out like as we went. Back then there wasn't this big community of people. There was a handful of people that actually had VR and DK1s and DK2s then at the time.
Right.
When we started pushing that. So yeah, it was really figure out as we go. And then let's see, next I had the Note 7 and the VR kit for it. Except that was the one where, that could catch your face on fire, where the phone burn up. So that one was kind of out the window. And then they dropped support for that. And then after that, I think we ended up getting PCs, right?
Yeah, we ended up buying a bundle, and we both the same exact day we decided we were going to do this. We went out, researched online of where we could get this bundle because it was hard to find.
Drift. PD brought it up. Drift was the name of the game. Yep.
So this is actually so the same day we bought the exact same setup. This was before you could buy a CV1 with controllers, the touch controllers.
Yeah.
This came with a gamepad and the touch controller separate. So this was the kit that we bought. It was a PC, it was the headset, and the touch controllers. It came as a bundle, and I think it was like right around $1,000. I think it was
$1,100. $1,100
for everything, which was a good deal back then. It was a good deal, and
still a screaming deal. If you can't buy a PC and VR for $1,100,
yeah,
man,
we were hyped. I mean, we were super pumped about this. We both went home. We were talking to each other. We were hooking it all up, and having just an absolute blast.
Oh, it's so good.
This is
the excitement was so real. Do you have the case one? Do you have the one?
This one here?
No, not that one. But that was the amount that they had per store.
Yeah, I actually had to go to 2 different stores. I had to go to 2 different stores to complete my bundle because they didn't have all of the items at one store.
Yep. Do you have the one of showing it in the display case? Actually, I sent you the one.
That is in the display case.
No, like the exposed headset and controller and stuff.
I don't know.
Do you have that one in there? Maybe not. Okay. Yeah, maybe not.
This one?
Yeah, maybe not. No, not that one. Anyways, No,
Nope.
not that one. But see, they only had one PC. They had one headset and one set of controllers. So
Yeah.
I was there the second they opened on the day of the release of it. And I
Of the
ran in there as
bundle.
fast as I could because I was worried. I'm like, somebody else has to be thinking the same thing too.
Yeah. It was
Um,
funny too because I was buying this at the store and nobody even really knew what it was. Like
right.
the salespeople were like, "Oh, what is this? I've kind of heard a little bit about this." And I was like, we were still new to it, but I was telling them all about it, and they were like, "Oh, that is
Yep.
awesome!"
Yep.
And
Yep.
so they were excited about it. It was really cool. And I think we've showed this picture before, but this was the back of your Jeep
Oh
after
yeah.
buying all of this.
I was so
So
excited, and I sent it to you, and I think you were in the middle of trying to buy the half of it, however it was,
yeah, I was
and
at two different stores.
buying the one at the other store on the original purchase so that you were sure you got it. And I don't think they let you, did you? So you had to go to the other store, or they did let you buy it, something like that.
It was
I knew
it was
trouble.
weird. Like I had to go to the one
Yeah.
store and I paid for the bundle, but then I think the controllers were at another store, so they
Right.
did like a store pickup. So I had to go to
Sure.
the other store and then show my receipt, and then they brought them from behind the counter. It was really weird, but I was just excited to get it because I was like, man, there's no way Tyler can get all of this stuff and be playing today, and I don't have mine yet because nobody has it in stock. So I was pretty much willing to drive wherever I needed to drive to get it.
Yep.
And we basically went home, got all this stuff hooked up, and we had a little bit of trouble getting it working because of the issues with having a screen hooked up and a headset hooked up. We weren't sure how that exactly worked yet, where you would have to have both plugged into the GPU, and it was a little. We were like, what in the world is going on? So it took us a little while to figure it out. Once we did, we hopped into games like I think the Toy Box was Toy Box one of the first ones.
Oh no, not the first. Conrad said I still had time to take a picture.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I always
your
take
transaction
pictures,
was a
man.
lot easier than mine. You had one store
Sure.
I think you went to that you got everything, but
Except I was still nervous. I was because the deal that we were getting was like, was it unadvertised, or we weren't even sure it was going to work when we went in or something, but
yeah,
the
I don't
bundle
know.
or however it was, but yeah.
It worked out though, but I know one of the
So
first ones
first
we went
game-
into was Toy Box. I just remember that was one of the memories that I have, that we were both sitting there, and it was the first time because we gamed together a lot. We gamed, Xbox a lot together, and this was the first time that it was just so weird because we sat down, we were at this table, and I looked over, and you're sitting there. It's not you, but it's your avatar.
Right.
It moves what you're doing.
Stuff.
I hear you talking from beside me. It was just, I was blown away. It was so cool. It was like the first time that we were literally together in a space that we weren't together in, and it was
the one
so
that
weird.
had me crying, laughing.
Oh yeah, I know what you're gonna say.
Was they had just a shrink gun,
I knew that was
and
coming.
we found it because the stuff would just be laying on the table and you pick it up and we'd be playing with it and stuff. And I think you shot me first.
Yeah.
I forget. You
think
picked the
so.
gun up and shot me, and
I didn't know what it was.
shrunk instantly. And
was
I think even the voice changes. It did like a voice mask on it
Yeah,
where you
it's like
sounded
a
small.
high-pitched
And you're like
little-
looking up
yeah.
from the table at him and stuff. Oh my
man.
gosh.
I wish
were
we had that stuff
crying
on
laughing.
footage, on like video from back then. That would have been so
I
cool.
don't know if I have stuff saved like that, but
I don't
yeah.
think I
Oh
have
my
any of the old
gosh.
stuff, but man,
That
it was
was a
hilarious.
riot,
It was absolutely hilarious. That was, it
know.
was just, and the game is so simple to today's terms. Still fun, but it's a
It
simple
is,
game.
right.
But back then, we were just so blown away by what we could do, and
I know.
sitting next to each other, and it was
So,
so good.
I think when we got this too, didn't we get the bundle where we got 6 games? So we got Robo Recall.
Yeah, I think so.
There was a bundle with it as well. I forget what
I can't
you got.
remember.
I
Robo
know.
Recall wasn't out yet, though. That was a game that was coming. We knew it was coming, and it wasn't
Right.
out yet when we got ours, but we did get it free because it was
Yeah.
a touch bundle. I think it was when you bought the touch controllers.
Yeah, it was.
It was
It
so
was a
many
touch, you're
games.
right.
Yeah, it was so many
Yep.
games that came with that, and that
Yep.
was one of them.
You're right.
But yeah,
yeah,
I
but
mean-
this was my original setup here.
Yeah, and you can see it actually came with a little controller. So bad the CV1, a lot of people don't know this if you haven't been around for a long time. It came with an actual controller, which is still cool. That was still a nice device. Came with the Xbox controller with a dongle, and then the touch controllers were separate. And this is a 2-camera setup. So right at first, we only had 2 cameras.
You can see one of the camera right there on the
up in
window ledge too.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, this would be 2-camera setup. That's true, because you got one with the original headset, and you got one with touch controllers to give you 360 tracking essentially. Which we found out right away that we weren't too impressed with the 2-camera. So the second we could get which actually, no, you bought a second touch setup is what you did, didn't you?
I wanted a third camera because we
You
liked the
wanted them
shooter
so
games
bad,
and
yeah.
stuff. And I can't even remember what all we were playing back then, but I knew that, it was hard not to move in your physical space. So you would turn your body in your physical space and not even realizing it. You'd be facing away from the two cameras. And I was like, we got to do something about this. So I actually, because I don't think you could order just the single camera yet, or they were sold out. I can't remember.
Yeah, one or the other, right.
So what I did is I went to Best Buy. I found another Best Buy that had the touch controllers in stock. So I bought another set of touch controllers so I could get that third sensor. I bought a USB extension. And at this time, I don't have a picture of the setup, but at this time, my whole setup was in my living room. So this is before I was married or anything. So I had on the window, the window of the living room, on the blinds of the window, I had the third camera mounted up there. I had a USB cable running through my living room around the side of the wall underneath.
Is that the mount I printed you? The wall mount?
That one was a tripod mount, like the Gorilla Arm one. So I just wrapped it around. Yeah, that was my 3 sensor setup. And what I did was I bought the touch controller bundle. I kept the sensor, and then I sold the controllers themselves on eBay just to recoup some of the money. And that was my setup. And then I told you, I was like, dude, you got to get a third sensor. It's so much better. You got it. And this was all experimental. This was all in Oculus software. They stated this is all, third sensors experimental. They didn't know if it would do
better. Basically, they had to have known. But the tracking struggle was real back then. But the third camera was literally a game changer. Like, we knew instantly that the tracking on that was butter. Even with the occlusion of playing, shooters and stuff and blocking your hands, crouching, didn't matter. You could go anywhere.
Yeah, 3 cameras, I never had much trouble. And I never did the diagonal setup with the 2 sensors either. I always had on my TV stand, because it was in the living room, I had the 2 sensors mounted or just sitting on the TV stand, and then I added the third sensor behind me in the corner.
But see, at the time, the original Vive base stations, though, were running a 2 camera with great tracking. So everybody at the time was like, just buy the Vive. It's way better. They only need 2 cameras. That was the big debate at the time. Theirs was way better because of tracking and stuff.
And at first it was. I mean, the HTC had a leg up on Oculus, no doubt about it. I mean, the thing that made us go to Oculus was the controllers. We knew the touch controllers were superior to the Vive wands, and that was we wanted the thumbsticks. It's basically like you said before, it's almost like taking an Xbox controller and breaking it in half and having 2 controllers. We were used to the Xbox controller. That was really what swayed us.
I know. So gaming science teacher just asked maybe she's asking Conrad about a 3D printer.
So Conrad Lawrence said, what is that to the left of the monitor?
Yeah, the left. It's so that's actually a vintage medical scale. It's a glass enclosure with a brass scale inside that all the controls are on the outside and stuff. I have a problem. I like very, very new electronics, high-end stuff, but I like very, very old stuff. So I like stuff that people basically don't get to experience. So I like the new stuff that people can experience, and I like the old stuff that we didn't get to because we weren't around at the time.
And I mean, this was high tech. Back in the day, this was a high tech device. So I mean, this is just stepping back in history of what other people saw.
It's a milled marble table and stuff, brass weights and stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Really cool.
Yeah, so I like the old stuff like that, and I have it lit and stuff, pretty nice and everything. But I do like the old stuff. I have tons of old stuff. It's from cars to gear. So, but I like the new stuff too. But yeah, the 3D printer that's actually on the right of the monitor, I actually use to print stands, which did you have those in there? I think so.
Yep.
There you go. Oh, cool. So you even have the ones on the printer and stuff. So these were stands for the original touch controller.
And I still have these. These are like a display that I have set up with original touch controllers on these.
There was never a good way to sit those controllers down, really. I mean, you could kind of stand them up on the front and stuff, but then when you would go to grab them, it was like they were backwards.
Like you can't do it like you can the new ones.
Right.
Because they have that ring flipped around and you can just set them down. These ones kind of rolled around and they
always rolled around.
They were a little weird to set down. Yeah. So this is the picture of them actually on the stands. And it just looks cool. I just feel like it's a nice looking piece. And you could set them down on the rings, like you said, but I don't know. This was just.
I still love those controllers, man.
One of the best controllers. One of the best controllers there are.
It really is. I love it.
Yep.
I know.
Yeah,
but yeah, the printer and stuff, I still use a lot to this day, which actually Skiva over on our Discord, he's got the grip extensions for the Knuckles controllers, and I want to print those.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the ones I keep needing to, and I keep forgetting to, but that printer has done me well. I think it was like a $280 printer.
Yeah, you've had that for a while too.
Oh my gosh, it's still great. It's a smaller print bed maybe than now newer modern stuff in the last couple years, but how long have I had that? I mean, look, that goes back to at least 16 because that's that picture's from. So I mean, it's been a great printer and still is. So it only prints PLA. They have some other stuff now, but yeah.
Yep. And then so Tyler took my advice and ordered himself a third sensor. And this was back, that was the actual cable that came with the third sensor, correct? Yeah. So mine, I didn't get that
from Oculus that way.
I didn't get that official cable. I had to order a different one on Amazon, and luckily it worked. And I still have that cable as well. But yeah, it was pretty cool. This was the high-tech stuff back then. And after this point, I mean, even before this point, we were pretty much hooked. And I mean, we played as much as we possibly could. We played every...
Man, what did we play? What did we play all the time then?
The
Pavlov? Lots of Pavlov.
Yeah, lots of Pavlov. The big ones that stick out to me, that the memories I have of the early days of VR is playing games like Arizona Sunshine, the full campaign in co-op. We played the whole thing. We've talked about it a lot, but we've played the whole thing in co-op. Another great game for people that are newer into VR that, you know, just got a Rift S or something like that is From Other Suns. And nobody talks about that anymore. You know, that's a game that's kind of fallen away in the fact that it's been out for a long time, but that game was an excellent game.
If you want to play a game with a friend or something, highly recommend that. A lot of fun.
That was a great game. Yeah. And it has replayability too. You know, the main goal of the game is to get back to Earth. And the thing that game did good in co-op was the fact that you had to make decisions, and you had to make decisions together, you know, as a co-op team, because there was multiple routes that you could take to get back to Earth, and each one of those routes you didn't know what kind of opposition you were going to run into. You could run into opposition on the route, or you could run into a trading kind of ship. Like there was good outcomes and there was negative outcomes depending on what you picked. And I mean, it was just an excellent game.
You could raid a ship. You could go portal over to a ship that you encountered and raid it, or not, or run from them. I mean, if they were attacking you.
Yeah, they could make threats, and they could make threats, and they wanted payments of fuel or something like that. You could choose to give it to them, or you could choose to fight them. You could choose. I mean, it was an excellent game.
They would port over to your ship, and they would start attacking all your the stuff in the ship, whether it be the power plant or your health stations, and you would have to go fend them off. So you would man the controls of the ship, and I would go back and try and take care of them, and it was chaos. Yeah, it was a lot. That's a lot of fun. That's a good game.
It was a great game. That is definitely one that I feel people should revisit, or if you're new to VR.
I know.
I'm surprised they haven't done a second one. I don't remember who the developer was. Who was the developer of that? That was Gunfire Games, I think. Yeah, Gunfire Games.
Might have been.
So,
could have been, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yep. I don't know what the price is, because the bad thing with Oculus is that once you already have it, it just says purchased. It doesn't tell you what the price is.
I know.
But that was
I feel
a really
like games like that, though, why don't they just drop the price?
Yeah, and they might have. That's the thing. I can't tell.
They could have. That's true.
I can't see what it is. But yeah, that was an excellent game. I love that. Was one of the best games back then that I remember, just due to the fact that it was co-op and you could play the whole game in co-op. And it was a challenging game, but it was fun. It wasn't overly challenging, but man, it was such a good game. And once you got back to Earth, you could start it over, but you had an upgraded ship. So you had a better ship, and you could keep getting better ships, keep trying to make it back to Earth. And there was different paths. You could take a different path every time. So really cool game. Really cool game.
Yep, it is. It's still, I mean, you know, talk about like Star Trek Bridge Crew. Yeah, I feel like that's the newer version of it, maybe. But the graphics were great even for its time From Other Sun.
Yeah. I mean we were running that on 1060s. We were running that on 1060s, so I'm sure it looks even better, you know, nowadays. And then since then we were just hooked. I mean, then we bought pretty much every headset that came out. You know, Rift S, Quest, Index. You got the Pimax. So
Pimax, Cosmos. I mean, basically, anything we can get our hands on now is where we're at with it. And I wish I was going to look and see if I had a picture. I actually got tired because VR, we would play a lot of standing stuff. So I actually got tired of sitting down, getting something loaded in, then standing back up, putting it all back on and everything. So my last setup at my old house was a standing desk that I made. And you did as well. You made a standing desk too.
Well, in the last house, my VR room was so tiny. I mean, I think it was like an 8x8 or a 9x9 room. It was the smallest room in the house that we owned at the time.
Right.
And I just needed the smallest desk I could possibly get to hold, you know, a monitor, the PC, a keyboard, and a mouse, because, you know, I didn't do any flat gaming. So I just wanted something that would be tucked against the wall, out of the way. And that was when I mounted my sensors on the walls with the 3D printed brackets for the Oculus sensors. And there was a minimalistic room. I just had just a little bit of stuff in there, and I wanted the biggest play area I could have. And luckily now my VR room is much bigger, and I have, you know, a full size desk and everything. It makes it a little bit easier for that, because that back then we didn't do the show. You know, when I first set up that room, we didn't do that. Was where we started the Coffee and VR show. So if you watch some of the early ones, you can see the backgrounds of the rooms and stuff we were in. But I mean, it was built just to have maximum play space for VR, and it worked pretty good. So.
Oh yeah, I did. I was the same way, and that's why I wanted mine out of the way, because mine was actually in a in a closet. Oh no, I dare not look when you start laughing.
Dave Becker said, "What about Fortnite? Great game."
Fortnite, get out of here, man! Look at these flat gamers in here, man. This is not a place for flat gamers, man. That's gone. That's by the wayside. I don't even remember.
He hasn't been converted yet. Okay, he hasn't been converted.
Okay,
yet.
So good point, right? Flat gamer, right there, friend of mine actually.
Yep.
He actually came over and hater, right? VR, I don't want to play VR, right?
Yep.
So
big Halo player, Fortnite.
Oh yeah, which I was too.
Halo,
you know.
Yeah.
Yep, same way. And we let's see, you were on with him, and we went into Arizona Sunshine Horde, right? Was that No, his first was Super Hot.
Okay.
Which I think he played from front to back. You know, he would text me like, "I'm coming over tonight. I'm playing Super Hot," and keep playing progression. You know.
Yep.
Then after that, you guys actually got into Horde mode in Arizona Sunshine, and I think took second place on the leaderboard.
We were way up on the leaderboard back then.
I think it was second place, and that wasn't an easy task. It wasn't like there was nobody playing it at the time.
And it was just two of us. We were playing, so you could have 4 people in Horde mode, and we were doing it with the 2 of us, just me and him.
I think you guys played that from, because you play waves, right? If you guys haven't played it before.
Yeah.
And you just wave it at a time, and you get ammo and health every once in a while. I think you guys were up to wave like 100 something.
I don't even know. I can't remember.
You guys
I don't even know how many there are.
I think straight for 2 hours almost, and I think you got, I mean, I know Dave was, I think, exhausted because you're ducking, weaving, moving around.
Your heart rate's beating the whole time because it's intense, and you're trying to get past.
It is. And then it gets dark, and you can't see crap, it's just, it is, it's still, and that's still a relevant game, now, especially being on Quest. That's a whole new thing, for people. So
he still needs to get VR. He still needs to get VR and get back into because we used to play a lot of Halo and stuff with him online. So he still hasn't got any VR yet, right?
I know.
Man,
I know.
Slacking.
GST just said, "Have you heard about the Oculus Quest?"
Hey, that's a great headset to pick up, because now you can play a lot of the games on there, and then you can eventually get a gaming PC, get a link cable, and play all the games.
And that's why it's selling like hotcakes. And it's actually, though, there is some availability on the Quest 2 as well.
It pops up randomly. So I know some people on our Discord have found them on Best Buy, where you can actually order them on Best Buy. And then it seems like once they post them that they're available, almost instantly after that, it's just sold out again. Because I saw somebody posted that. I was like, oh, sweet. I went to Best Buy, and I was like, oh, the 128 and 64 shows sold out. So I think it just happens that quick. Yeah.
Well, I posted it when somebody told me. I put it right to our Discord, and I said, you might have a couple minutes. I think it was less than a minute. I mean, it's that fast.
And it's probably like 1 or 2 at a time. And I don't know.
I'm sure.
Yeah. And I'm sure if you check in stores, you can probably randomly find some returned open box items too. I don't know. But
maybe you're in stock before it's listed online, maybe. But when I search, it says 250 miles on Best Buy, nothing in stock. So I get it. It's crazy. But
yeah, Dave said we dominated that game. VR and beers, and I'm in.
I know, right?
We still need a good way to have some adult beverages in VR. It's still, the bottles make it easier than cans. That's for sure.
No, it doesn't, though, because when I was on last time playing Poker Stars with Greg's VR in chat, and I'm sure if you haven't checked out his channel, please do. But be careful, because he records. So I think he caught this one, but I actually had a real adult beverage sitting on my coffee table in front of me. Well, in VR, I had a beer in there, because you can get it out of your inventory if you have it.
Yeah.
And I had it sitting on the poker table in front of me. Well, the VR beer was farther out than my real beer. So when I went to grab my real beer, I went for the VR one and completely knocked it over. And it's like, it becomes that real that you forget that you're grabbing something in real life and in VR. It's just, it's a mindset.
We need the tracked items. We've talked about that. We need those tracked items
which might be possible now with Quest. And I mean,
it could come. It could.
It could. Yep.
Yeah,
I know.
For sure.
We'll see. Yeah. I know. It's a dream, but we'll get there. But yeah, we are going to get into something and play some stuff with some people here. I would really like to. I don't think I have too many plans for tomorrow. It may be my one shot to actually play with some people. And you and I both have talked about doing a dual stream.
Yeah, we still need to. I wanted to do that with the new Quest game. I can't think of the name now. The arcade punching game. I wanted to do it with that.
The vintage one. The 80s one.
I wanted to do it with that, and they haven't, as far as I know, they still don't have the co-op out yet.
Right. I don't think so either. Not that I've heard.
Yeah, that was what I really wanted to get into and try to do a dual stream. We have done dual stream stuff in the past, so we can do it okay.
We have.
So
it's kind of crazy, yeah. And now I have some good chat working and stuff so that we can live stream. So we would like to do it and actually get on with a bunch of you guys and stuff too. So we will definitely organize that. Just again, keep an eye on our Discord. We did it last week. It was kind of random.
Yeah, we did some racing games.
We did some sim racing, which was a lot of fun. Which I'm telling you, the stuff with this Pimax, man, the sim racing, it keeps me coming back to it. It's hard right now. Now with all these new updates for it and stuff, it's just easy. So I don't know. I'll get out of the racing now that I've got my link cable sitting here and stuff, and we'll get in and do some stuff. But we do need to work on some things. There you go. Deathlap. Deathlap's a good one too. You're still behind the head though. I know. I know.
They understand.
It's a good game, man. It's a great game.
It's a good one to get into and play with.
I wonder, Anthony, have you ever heard, did Anthony get back into trying it?
I haven't heard him say anything recently on the show. I know he was playing a lot of the Westworld Awakening. He's playing.
Well, I just told you that this morning. I still have that on the back burner. I've got it loaded. I haven't played it yet. I may do that after the show.
It gets really good reviews. I know people really do love that game.
Somebody was telling me visually it's really good.
Have you watched the show?
I haven't. It was on the other night, and I wanted to try and watch one episode before I actually went into it just to brief myself, but I haven't. But a lot of people do like that show too as well. So we'll see.
Yeah,
but definitely. I'll get there.
Thanks for that.
Pleasure.
Thanks for subscribing. That is awesome.
Absolutely. Cheers to that. Yeah. I know, man. These subs, we're picking up, 25 a day? I can't even believe that. Look how you can see it through. Isn't that amazing? The reflection.
It's pretty awesome.
So good.
I think next week we will definitely have a lot of big topics to talk about next week with CES. There's going to be tons of stuff hopefully coming out with that. Hopefully some big stuff. Definitely excited for the next episode. Tons of content I think that we will be able to share and talk about. And maybe depending on what happens, I mean, if something big, really big happens, we may do another episode during the week, this week in the evening sometime, just to talk about some big CES stuff. We did that with Oculus Connect last year. We had an extra episode during the week. So maybe we'll do something like that depending on what all gets dropped at CES, any big stuff. So definitely.
Looks like Let's Chat might have picked up that Deathlap code. So congrats to that.
Congrats.
That's awesome.
Cool. That is really cool.
Yeah, I think we definitely need to do something, man. CES, I feel like it's going to be good. It's going to be good. I mean, everybody's hyped for VR right now. Yep, it could really set us over the edge. So
I hope the VR stuff just steals the show. You know what I mean?
I agree.
CES obviously isn't VR focused. It's just consumer electronics show. So there's all kinds of stuff there. But I hope that media wise this year, these shows start to really steal some thunder.
And I think it's going to focus a lot on all the accessories now that are coming out for VR. My one dream, if we get an unknown to come out, would be if we get some type of audio strap solution for headsets, whether for the Rift S, for the Quest, obviously. I really feel like that could be a game changer if we get something come out. Do I think it's going to happen?
Well, we know that we're going to find out more information from Rebuff Reality. So Rebuff Reality is going to be there, and they teased about those off-ear headphones that we've talked about before.
That's just the headphones, though, not
as far as we know. Yeah, as far as we know. So that we will have more info on that I'm looking forward to, because the off-ear audio is definitely, to me, where it's at. You know, the index style audio is something I love right now. So that is. Hopefully.
I know. It's so good. I'm missing mine. I haven't, actually I do want to do a comparison though. I've been doing the racing sims on the Pimax, but I want to throw back and forth the index and the 5K plus just to see visually, because I know the full screen on the index is crystal clear.
Yeah.
So I wonder if there's a big difference, or I seriously think the field of view on it just kills it for me, but we'll see. And when I have my 8KX too, I'll really be able to compare it.
Yep. So I think the big thing is going to be like you said, the gloves this year at CES. We're going to see a lot of those. And Gamer Tag just popped in. I think he's a little bit late. But,
that's different time zones.
Better late than never.
Streaming. I actually didn't.
Yeah, he might have been
notice.
Was
he?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Always streaming, man. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, definitely.
And congrats on your subs too.
Yeah.
And
everybody.
6K, right?
I mean, if you look at a lot of the VR content creators at the end of this last year, a lot of them hit their goals. A lot of them have grown quite a bit, which is really awesome because we know the VR as a whole is growing constantly. More people getting into it, wanting content. So it's a really great time. So really congratulations to everybody that's really hit their goals for VR content and all of that stuff in 2019. So,
and again, I'll say it too. If you guys want to hear something or want to hear a topic on here, definitely hit us up on the Discord or in the comment below. You know, some people aren't into Discord and stuff. So definitely leave us a comment about it.
I think 2020 is going to be big. I'm really excited to see what happens this year.
It's already big, man.
Yeah,
Come on.
I mean, 2019 was a big year for VR, and 2020 is just, I mean, I'm super hyped for it. I'm really hyped.
Ooh, Greg's VR
20 away from 1K.
20 away. So we've got, how many people are in here? Just go over and sub, because he puts out awesome content, especially on Sims and stuff.
Yeah, he does a lot of sim racing. Poker Stars is a big a lot of Poker Star stuff. So definitely hit him up. Let's get him to that 1K hopefully today.
Right?
So
we got about 100 people in here. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
20. Let's go right now. I know.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's awesome. He's a super good guy. Quality content. Yeah. Keep up the good. Man, it's awesome.
So Hutch's Clutch said, do you guys stream on Twitch or anything? And we don't really. I think we have a little bit in the past, but not really much.
This week I actually looked into, though it's a whole nother step for us because it's tough because we have two of us on here live as well. But doing like a restream where we stream to multiple outlets at the same time, we've thought about it. I don't know.
We might look into it. I don't know.
We would. I don't know. Twitch in itself is to me is more about gaming. So to have new stuff on there, it's maybe not as relevant. But if you guys think so, leave us a comment, and we might. We've talked about it. We've even talked about doing a recording and releasing it as a true podcast. So if that's something you guys like, let us know.
We still need to look into that. I know there are people interested in a podcast format, like on a actual where they can just listen instead of YouTube, and that is something we haven't looked into yet. We know we need to and try to figure that out. We'll have to try to at some point in time.
I still want to know if anybody watches us actually in VR. Like big screen or anything.
Yeah, so
we need to do that.
Paolo Triani said, I didn't grow YouTube, removed subs and watch hours. Then in the new year, they gave me some back, then removed again. So YouTube is weird. YouTube is, I mean, as a platform as a whole, YouTube is really weird.
Yeah, we take a lot of it with a grain of salt sometimes because some stuff updates quicker than others. The videos update quicker than our analytics and stuff. So yeah,
it's all weird. Yeah, and even like when we hit our 2K goal at the end of 2019, you know, we were really excited, and some people were like, "Don't celebrate yet." You know, a lot of times you hit that mark and then it drops back down, and YouTube is weird. So
yeah, I know.
Yeah, Gamertag said he uses Restream, and it's
exactly, and that's what I would use as well. I kind of handle the streaming end of it. Sean actually, just as a briefing, handles all of our on-screen stuff. So
yeah, real quick too, I did forget the Asgard's Wrath code giveaway ends today, and I think that ends just shortly.
Yeah, we did do that
shortly after the show. So there is still some time if you haven't. I don't know if that link is in this description. If it's not, it'll be in the description of the last Coffee and VR, so you can find that there, and we can add that. Well, we probably shouldn't even add it here because it's going to be over, but I believe there's like an hour left, so about 76 minutes left. There's a total of 560 entries right now. So, I mean, that is a competitor for Game of the Year of 2019 by pretty much anybody's standard, I would feel like. I mean, amazing game. Make sure you got the hard drive space to download it because it is massive.
Well, and again, that's a game that gives you that scale thing too, you know, because you can be, you know, different sizes and stuff. Because can't you be the bigger guy or whatever?
You can be like a god or whatever where you're... Yeah, where you're real big and then you can shrink down to a normal human. So awesome game. I actually need to get back into that game because there were so many games that came out. You know, we got Stormland shortly after that and Boneworks.
Crazy, and it's just I haven't even been back in Boneworks yet, man, because my controllers. I can't even take it. Like
last time I went into Asgard's Wrath, I think it said that I was like, what did it say? Like 0.2% complete or something like that. Because it's a massive game. It's probably one of the longest games we have in VR, and I haven't even barely scratched the surface. So I think I got to where like I have the turtle guy where I can Yeah, I don't know. I have a long ways to go. That's a game I need to get back into, but yeah,
Great. There's so much. I know, so much stuff, and we'll get more. And maybe hear some more stuff at CES too. Which,
yeah,
that's what I'm pumped for, man.
yep.
All this new stuff.
And let us know what
Yep.
shows you want us to try to go to this year. I know we're going to try to hit some of those up. I'm really looking forward to that. I am excited to see.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say we're going to PAX East, man.
Well, we better order the tickets like today.
I think we've got enough funding, especially from last episode, man. Those super chats.
Yeah.
The last couple have been ridiculous, so we really do appreciate all
definitely.
those. Yeah, that'll at least get us started to PAX East, man. It's great. It's good stuff.
For sure.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, thank you everybody for being here. All the people in the chat and everything. We really do appreciate you being here. And this show wouldn't be much fun to do if nobody watched it. So, luckily, we have some great community to be a part of.
Oh,
so.
Conrad wanted controller status, and they are received by Valve, and I haven't heard back yet what's happening. So, I will definitely let you guys know on the Discord first, and if not, hopefully by next show. So,
yeah, hopefully back in hand here pretty soon. So,
I know, right? Yeah. It's driving me crazy.
Pretty
That's how it goes.
So, yep. All right. Well, thanks everybody for being here. Really do appreciate it, and we will see you guys next time.
We will see you guys back here. See you in VR. Later, guys.
Later.
See you.
All right, we are muted. No, we're not.